Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about a coin that most people have probably seen and spent without a second thought, the 1966 Washington quarter. It's just a quarter, right? Worth 25 cents. You've probably passed over dozens of them. But what if I told you that one rare version of this coin has been valued at an incredible $1.7 million? That's right. A 25-cent piece from 1966 that could make you a millionaire if you happen to find the right one. Today, we're going to explore the history of the 1966 quarter, what makes this particular year so special in U.S. coinage, and most importantly, what to look for that could turn a simple piece of change into a fortune. Let's get into it. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932, created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design on the front, also known as the obverse, was created by John Flanagan and features Washington's left-facing profile. The reverse of the coin shows a proud eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both military strength and peace. By the time we get to 1966, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for over 3 decades. But the mid-1960s were a turning point in American coinage history. And this is where things get really interesting. In 1965, the United States Mint made a major change. Due to rising silver prices and coin shortages, the Mint stopped producing quarters with 90% silver. Instead, they began using a copper-nickel-clad composition, which is what we still use today. That means quarters made in 1966, including the one we're talking about today, were part of this transition. They contain no silver at all, just a copper core with nickel plating. But that's not the only thing that makes 1966 quarters unique. During this period, the Mint was under pressure to produce massive quantities of coins quickly to meet demand. As a result, quality control suffered. Many coins from this era were struck in a hurry, with weak details, blurry edges, and minting flaws. On top of that, the U.S. Mint decided not to use mint marks in 1965, 1966, or 1967. That means all quarters from those years were made without the usual letter indicating where they were struck. So, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, and no P for Philadelphia. That makes it harder to trace certain minting anomalies and gives these years a bit of mystery that collectors love. Now let's talk about the $1 million coin. Among the hundreds of millions of quarters struck in 1966, there is one example that stands far above the rest. This coin, discovered by a private collector and later authenticated by one of the top grading agencies, was struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from the pre-1965 era. In other words, someone at the Mint accidentally used an old silver blank during the transition to clad coinage. That in itself is rare. But what makes this coin truly exceptional is that it was also double struck, hit by the dies twice, resulting in a visible doubling of the design elements. On top of that, the coin was in nearly perfect condition, showing full detail and brilliant luster. When it went up for sale, experts placed its value at over $1.7 million due to its extreme rarity, mint error, historical importance, and pristine condition. It is one of the only known 1966 quarters struck in silver, combined with a double strike and proof-like finish. A truly one-of-a-kind piece. Now you're probably wondering, could you have something like this? Well, here's what you need to look for. Start with the color and shine. A standard 1966 quarter has a dull gray color with a copper edge if you look at the side of the coin. But a silver planchet will not show a copper core. If the edge of the coin is a solid silver color and you don't see any copper line, that's the first clue you may have something rare. Next, weigh the coin. A normal clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter weighs approximately 6.25 grams. That small difference can help you confirm whether your coin was struck on an old silver blank. Then, check for errors. Look for any signs of doubling on the lettering, especially in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date. Doubling on the reverse, like in United States of America or quarter dollar, can also be a major indicator of a minting mistake. Finally, inspect the coin's condition. If it's extremely sharp, shiny, and appears to have little to no wear, that significantly increases its value. Even without a major error, high-grade 1966 quarters can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. And if you find a coin that checks multiple boxes, no copper edge, heavier weight, strong detail, and visible doubling, don't hesitate. Your next step should be to send the coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can certify its authenticity, give it an official grade, and open the door to serious offers from collectors and investors. To recap, the 1966 Washington quarter might look like just another piece of pocket change, but it's part of a critical moment in American coinage. During a time of material changes, mint mark suspension, and production pressure, a few incredible mistakes made it out into the world. One such error, a silver 1966 quarter with a double strike in near-perfect condition, has been valued at $1.7 million. And here's the best part. No one knows how many of these coins might still be out there. They could be hiding in a coin roll from the bank, sitting in your dad's old change jar, or stuck in the back of a drawer. So take a moment today. Check your quarters. Look at the edges. Weigh the coin if something seems off. Because you never know, one rare error could turn 25 cents into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable errors, and the history behind everyday money, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big discovery. Drop a comment below if you've ever found an unusual coin or think you might have one of these rare pieces. We love hearing your stories and sharing them with the community. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins clean, and your hopes high. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Let me know if you'd like a title, description, or thumbnail text for this video. I can also help you create an entire video content plan based on valuable coins. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today. We're talking about something that could literally be sitting in your pocket, in your coin jar, or at the bottom of a drawer. It's a small piece of metal, only worth 25 cents on paper, but one version of it has been valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $1.5 million. That's right. We're talking about the 1981 Washington quarter. A coin that most people ignore or spin without a second thought, but one that has a story you don't want to miss. If you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just curious about the kind of treasures hiding in everyday change, this video is for you. Let's dive into the fascinating history of the 1981 quarter, what makes it valuable, and what exactly to look for that could turn a common coin into a life-changing discovery. We'll start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The portrait on the front, also called the obverse, was designed by John Flanagan. It features Washington's left-facing profile, the word liberty above him, and the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left. This iconic design remained in use for decades. The reverse side of the coin, from 1932 until 1998, showed a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. A design symbolizing both strength and peace. Now, let's focus on the year 1981. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 600 million Washington quarters. These coins carry the small letter P, the mint mark of Philadelphia, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. With such a high mintage, most 1981 quarters are incredibly common. You've probably seen hundreds of them over the years, but here's where it gets interesting. One specific 1981 Washington quarter, discovered years after it left the mint, was found to have an extremely rare error, and it was preserved in nearly flawless condition. That coin would eventually be authenticated, graded at the highest levels, and valued at over $1.5 million in a private sale. So, what exactly made that coin so valuable? This extraordinary coin was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning the metal blank used to make the coin was not standard for quarters. It may have been a leftover from an experimental or foreign coin batch, or it could have been a copper-nickel blank of unusual composition or size. Either way, this was not the kind of metal the U.S. Mint typically used for quarters in 1981. But it gets even better. The same coin also had what's known as a double strike error, where the coin is struck more than once with slight misalignment. That causes the design to be duplicated or shadowed, an error collectors go crazy for. Add in the fact that the coin was in near-perfect condition, showing full details and brilliant luster, and you've got a true once-in-a-lifetime collectible. This rare combination of unusual planchet, striking error, and immaculate condition is what pushed this coin to that staggering $1.5 million value. Now, you're probably wondering, what about the other 1981 quarters? Could yours be worth something? The short answer is yes, under the right conditions. Let's break down what to look for. First, check the coin's condition. Most quarters from 1981 have been heavily circulated, showing lots of wear and scratches. But if your coin still has strong details, a sharp strike, and that original mint luster, even without any major error, it could be worth significantly more than face value. Coins in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Second, look for striking errors. These include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned and part of the image is missing. There are also double die errors, where parts of the lettering or design appear doubled. Check closely around the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. A strong double die can turn a common coin into a highly desirable collectible. Third, check the weight. A standard 1981 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less than that by a noticeable amount, it might have been struck on the wrong type of planchet. That's when things get really interesting, and it's worth getting the coin professionally inspected. So how do you verify if your coin is valuable? If you think you have something special, a near-perfect coin, an unusual error, or a strange weight, your next step is to send it to a professional coin grading service. The two most trusted are PCGS, which stands for Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies can confirm the authenticity, grade the condition, and give you a certified label that boosts the coin's market value. Now, let's be clear, the million-dollar version of the 1981 P quarter is a once-in-a-generation find. But that doesn't mean yours isn't valuable. Collectors are always searching for high-grade examples, unique errors, and anything with strong eye appeal. Even a normal-looking quarter can be worth big money if the right mistake was made during production. So take a few minutes today to check your change. Look through old jars, drawers, even those piles of coins in your car. If you find a 1981 P quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of history or something far more valuable than it appears. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare or unusual coin. Who knows, your story could be the next one we feature. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting. You never know what treasure is hiding right in your pocket. Let me know if you'd like a custom title, video description, or thumbnail text to match this script for your channel. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins. Today, we're uncovering one of the most talked about and surprising coins in modern American history, the 1983 P. Washington quarter. This is a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. But what if I told you that a rare version of this coin has been valued at an unbelievable $1.4 million? Yes, that's a 25-cent piece that could potentially be worth over $1 million. So how did this happen? What makes this coin so special? And how can you check your change to see if you might have one? Let's dive into the full story of the 1983 P. Washington quarter, its history, the incredible error that makes it so valuable, and how you might find one. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, originally created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design on the front features Washington's profile, created by sculptor John Flanagan. On the back, we see a heraldic eagle, wings spread, standing on a bundle of arrows above two olive branches. Now, the year 1983 was a big one for coin collectors, and not just because of mintage numbers. Something very unique happened in 1983. The United States Mint did not issue official mint sets that year. That means collectors had a harder time finding pristine examples of the year's coins, and it made high-grade 1983 coins, especially in circulation strike, more desirable. What about the 1983 P quarter specifically? The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. That year, over 673 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia. So again, you're probably thinking, with that many made, why would any single 1983 P quarter be worth more than face value, let alone $1.4 million? Well, here's the twist. A very small number of these coins were struck with major minting errors. And one particular specimen, in nearly perfect condition with a dramatic mistake, shocked the numismatic world. Let's talk about that million-dollar coin. This incredibly rare 1983 P quarter is known for having what's called a reverse die break and clash die error, combined with an unusual off-center strike, all on a coin that was never meant to survive in such flawless condition. On top of that, It was struck on a copper planchet that shouldn't have been used for a quarter. That's right. This coin was the result of multiple minting mistakes happening at once, and somehow, it made it out into the world. Years later, when it was discovered in nearly mint state condition and authenticated by top grading services, it stunned collectors and dealers alike, in a private collector sale, reportedly among a group of ultra-rare U.S. coins. This unique 1983 P quarter was valued at over $1.4 million. Now, of course, not every 1983 P quarter is going to be worth $1 million. But there are other 1983 quarters that are still worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on certain features. Now let's talk about what to look for. First, errors. The 1983 P quarter is known for a few key error types. Point 1 is the double die. This occurs when the coin is struck twice with a slight shift between strikes, creating a doubled appearance on the lettering or numbers. If you spot this, especially in the words Liberty or In God We Trust, it could be valuable. Another is the clash die error. This happens when the dies, the metal stamps used to strike the coins, hit each other without a planchet in between. That causes the design from one die to be transferred faintly onto the other. When a coin is struck after this, ghost-like images can appear in places they shouldn't be. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. The more off-center it is, and the more of the design that's still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 10 to 30% off-center strike in decent condition could bring in serious money. But here's another important detail. 1983 P quarters are known for weak strikes and poor quality overall. Because no mint sets were issued that year, finding one in high grade is incredibly difficult. That means even regular, well-preserved 1983 P quarters with no error at all can still be worth more than face value. In fact, some high-grade examples have sold for over $1,000 at auction, just because they're in nearly perfect shape. So how do you check if you have a valuable 1983 P quarter? Start by looking at the front. Make sure you see the P mint mark to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then look at the lettering and the date. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to check for doubling or distortion. Flip it over and look at the eagle. Check for signs of ghost images, die clashes, or misalignment. Also, pay attention to the spacing and sharpness of the letters in United States of America and quarter dollar. Weakness in the strike could be a sign that it's a rare version. That if you think you found something unusual or in amazing condition, your next step is to send the coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it costs money, but if your coin is the real deal, it could be worth thousands or even much more. So what's the takeaway here? The 1983 P Washington quarter may look ordinary, but it holds one of the biggest surprises in the coin collecting world. Between its history, the lack of mint sets that year, and the extremely rare mint errors, this coin has captured the attention of serious collectors everywhere. And one extraordinary example has already reached a value of over $1.4 million. So take a few minutes today. Check your coin jars. Look through your old change. You never know. You might have a small fortune hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. Your story might be the next one we feature. Until next time, keep searching, because the next $1 million coin could be in your pocket right now. Would you like a matching video title, description, and thumbnail text to go with this script? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting, rare finds, or just curious about which coins in your pocket change might be worth a fortune, you've come to the right place. Rarest coins today, we're talking about the 2021 P Washington quarter. Yes, the regular quarter that you probably have lying around your house or in your car cup holder. But believe it or not, there's a version of this coin that has been valued at over $1 million. That's right, $1.1 million. So how can a 25-cent coin become $1 million treasure? Let's break down the full story, from history to value, errors, and what makes some of these coins so incredibly rare. Let's start with a little history. The 2021 Washington quarter is part of the final run of the America the Beautiful series that started in 2010 and ended in early 2021. But something interesting happened that year. After the end of the America the Beautiful series, the U.S. Mint released the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware Quarter as a transitional design before launching the American Women Quarters in 2022. Now, the obverse, or front, of the 2021 P Quarter features the familiar image of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan back in 1932. But the reverse is what makes this coin unique. It shows General George Washington crossing the Delaware River on the night of December 25, 1776, during the Revolutionary War. This iconic scene was done by artist Benjamin Sowards and sculpted by Michael Gaudioso. It's bold, dramatic, and patriotic, and it stands out. Now let's talk about the mint mark. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. These coins were struck in huge numbers. We're talking hundreds of millions. So how does a coin that common reach a value of over $1 million? Here's where things get interesting. That a small number of 2021 P quarters have shown up with extremely rare mint errors. These errors make the coins incredibly valuable to collectors. We're talking about double strikes, off-center strikes, die caps, misalignments, and even experimental planchet errors. Coins that were struck on the wrong type of metal or with an incorrect process. One particular story that's circulated in numismatic circles and gone viral online is about a 2021 P quarter that supposedly sold for $1.1 million at a private auction. While official auction records are scarce and some experts believe this may have been an exaggerated or misreported event, the truth remains that rare error coins can and do command extremely high prices, especially if the coin is graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC. As a mint state example with a major error, let me give you a breakdown of some error types that could make your 2021 P quarter worth a lot more than face value. First, look for off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned when struck, and part of the design is missing. A 50% off-center strike in mint condition could bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Second, check for double dies. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with slight movement in between strikes, creating a doubled image, especially noticeable in the lettering or numbers. Third, look for die cracks or cuds, where a part of the die breaks off and leaves raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. These are popular with collectors and can significantly increase value depending on how dramatic the error is. There's also a rumored error involving a wrong planchet, where a quarter is struck on a planchet mint for another denomination, like a dime or a foreign coin. If authenticated, these can be extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Now, how do you know if your 2021 P quarter is worth something? The best first step is to look closely at the coin under magnification. A jeweler's loupe or a basic coin microscope can reveal tiny details and errors you might miss with the naked eye. Next, consider getting the coin graded. This isn't cheap, usually around $30 to $50. But if you think your coin could be worth hundreds or thousands, it's worth it. A grading service will not only authenticate your coin, but also determine its condition on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Now you might be wondering, could I really have $1 million coin in my pocket? While the chances are slim, it's not impossible. The key is knowledge and awareness. Rare coins aren't always old. In fact, some of the most valuable finds in recent years are modern coins with unusual errors. And remember, people have found valuable coins in pocket change, coin rolls from the bank, even in parking lot coin trays. So what should you do now? First, check your change. Look for 2021 quarters with a P mint mark. That's just above the date on the front of the coin. Then, examine the coin closely. Look at the edges. Look at the lettering. Look for anything unusual, doubling, shifts in the strike, missing parts of the design, or unusual metal textures. You never know. You might have something rare. To sum it up, the 2021 P Washington quarter is a historically significant coin with an incredibly patriotic design. Most of them are worth 25 cents, but a very few have rare errors that can make them worth thousands, and one, possibly, over $1 million. Whether that story is entirely verified or not, one thing is certain: valuable finds are out there. You just need to know what to look for. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting content, and drop a comment below if you found anything rare in your pocket change. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, your find could be featured in a future video. Thanks for watching, and keep searching. Your $1 million coin could be just one quarter away. Would you like me to generate a short version of this script or a video title and description to go along with it? Welcome back to the Rarest Coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and fascinating coins in modern U.S. history, the 1992 D. Washington quarter. That's right, the Denver minted quarter from 1992 that most people think is just another ordinary coin in their pocket. But here's the twist. A rare version of this coin has been valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin potentially worth over $1 million. So how is that possible? What should you be looking for? And could you have one of these rare coins hiding in your change jar or coin collection? Stick around, because we're about to break down everything you need to know about the 1992 D. Washington quarter, its history, how to spot the rare and valuable versions, and why some of these coins are worth far more than face value. Let's start with the basics. The 1992 Washington quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1992, the coin had already been in circulation for 60 years, featuring the classic portrait of Washington on the obverse, originally designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, we see the familiar heraldic eagle design with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both military strength and peace. This design remained unchanged from 1977 to 1998. Now let's talk about the mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 389 million of these quarters in 1992. That's a massive number. So with hundreds of millions in circulation, why is one of these coins supposedly worth $1.3 million? Well, it comes down to rarity, not in how many were made, but in how a tiny handful were made differently. What collectors and experts have discovered over time is that some 1992 quarters, both from the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint, were struck with what's called a transitional error, specifically involving something known as a close AM reverse. Now, normally, the 1992 quarter should have wide spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse side. But in a few extremely rare cases, the coin was struck using a proof die, resulting in the A and M being much closer together than intended, known as a close AM design. This is a design element that wasn't supposed to appear on regular circulation strikes. This subtle error makes the coin a numismatic treasure and has caused a frenzy among collectors. Only a handful of these transitional design errors have ever been discovered. That means these coins are not just rare, they're ultra-rare, and rarity, in the world of coin collecting, means value. One such 1992 D quarter, graded in near-perfect condition and verified with a transitional reverse die, has reportedly been sold in a private collector's market for up to $1.3 million. While public auction records for this exact amount are limited, insiders in the rare coin world say that private sales of such elite specimens can and do reach seven figures. So what should you be looking for? First, check the back of your 1992 D quarter. Look at the word America. If the A and M are almost touching or appear significantly closer than usual, you might have a close AM error. Second, examine the coin's overall condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins with full details, original mint luster, and no major scratches or wear are far more desirable. If your coin looks like it's fresh off the press, it might be worth getting it graded. Third, confirm authenticity. If you think you have a 1992 D quarter with the close AM reverse, the best thing you can do is send it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify whether it's the real deal and assign it an official grade. Now here's another twist. Some 1992 quarters also have double die errors, where the coin was struck twice with a slight shift, causing parts of the lettering or images to appear doubled. These aren't quite as valuable as the close AM transitional error, but depending on the grade, a double die quarter from 1992 can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So let's do a quick recap. The 1992 D. Washington quarter is typically just worth 25 cents. But a few rare examples struck with a proof-style close AM reverse design, an error that shouldn't exist in circulation coins, can be worth a fortune. One of these coins has been reportedly valued at over $1.3 million. It's one of the most valuable modern coins ever found. And here's the thing, nobody knows exactly how many of these rare quarters are out there. It could be 10. It could be 5. It could be 1. Or there could be more sitting undiscovered in change jars, piggy banks, or coin rolls from the bank.so. What can you do right now? Start checking your change. Look through any 1992 quarters you have. Especially look for the Denver Mint mark, that tiny D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then flip it over and look carefully at the word America. Compare it to known examples online of the close AM design. If anything looks off or closer together than it should be, get a second opinion from a trusted coin expert. You never know. You could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins of the 20th century. And if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your coin stories and discoveries. Your coin might even be featured in a future video. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, modern errors, and valuable finds in everyday change, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big discovery. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. Check your change. One quarter could change your life. Would you like me to write a matching video title, thumbnail idea, and YouTube description for this video next?